Hello everyone and welcome back to Disco Elysium, where we've just talked to Mr. Clare and we got some new objectives. You gotta talk to to Titus. In this case we had got to talk to Claudia apparently. Need to find about the borscht, and we need to find signatures. We need to be away from Mr. Clare to forge the signatures.
Yes?
Um, how do I forge the signatures again?
You take the legal documents out of the envelope, a 12 to 40 month construction period, and the zoning plan in the addendum.
Okay, so still can't do it. What is this book?
The front of this quarterly journal features a large satirical portrait of the late King Friesel. From the sides of his head, a pair of white antlers spread to the corners of the cover.
Also, sorry about my voice, I'm still a little bit sick. Why Frizzle?
Because Friesel was incompetent, foolish, and cruel. In short, the embodiment of everything the communards wished to overthrow. It's satire, you see. To your disappointment, there aren't any full-color pictures to direct your attention. Just column after column of closely set text, interrupted occasionally by little doodles in black and white. No advertisements, you notice. So who's funding this radical commentary? After rifling the pages with your thumb several times, you return to the table of contents. The magazine is divided into several sections. International development, Kunst und Kultur, and local concerns. Just inside the cover, there's also an editor's note.
Let's read the editor's note.
Comrade, as you know, this journal takes its name from Mazov's immortal expression, Du cristal à la fumée. This was his way of describing the way the rigid, crystalline structures of capitalist ideology turn to smoke under communism. But, like the structures of capitalist ideology, we too are at risk of going à la fumée, unlike many publications which are content to spoon-feed their readers reassuring drivel. La Fumée is committed to telling the radical truth, even when that truth may drive away potential subscribers. Only 4 issues in, and it sounds like they've already alienated their readership.
Wouldn't be a leftist. Wouldn't be a leftist newspaper without it.
Perhaps they've overestimated the market demand for this kind of commentary. So please, if you value our radical Mazovian perspective on contemporary politics, culture, and international affairs, please consider subscribing today. Yours in struggle, the editors.
It's the Communist magazine.
What do you expect? It was laying around the office of the Debarders Union. They're probably bankrolling the thing.
You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you.
Let's catch up on international development.
This section includes a long, tedious critique of the latest round of free trade negotiations between the EPIS nations and the Free State of Semenine. You also skip over an article about heavy fuel oil smuggling along the Messina border, something about bear wrestling in Samara, book riots in Yugograd. Face it, you really aren't interested in foreign affairs. You're not even sure where most of these countries are.
Harry, one of these days you're gonna look at a map.
You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you.
What's Kunst und Kultur?
It takes a moment, but gradually it dawns on you that Kunst und Kultur must mean arts and culture. Why they decided to title this one section in Volda is beyond you. Obviously because it's cool to drop random phrases in foreign languages.
Of course. My entire channel is filled with me dropping phrases in foreign languages.
It evokes a sense of recognition and fellowship among those privileged enough to understand. As you leaf through this section, you come across several reviews of recent radio plays, as well as a brief artist spotlight featuring a local artist identified only as CS. The main feature, though, is a long essay titled Tip Top Tournée, a critical Mazovian perspective. The Tip Top Tournée is an inter-Isolari racing series, mostly known for its high speeds, ludicrous sponsorship deals, and high death toll. In Revachol, it's held quadrennially on the prestigious Zero Carousel racing circuit.
Let's read the profile.
This so-called artist spotlight is really just a brief Q&A, made all the briefer by the subject's evident hostility to her interviewer.
Fantastic.
That certainly sounds like a certain delinquent youth who likes to harass you from her balcony.
Huh. Right, let's see what these communists have to say about Tip Top.
You think you're settling in for a relaxing recap of the most recent season, maybe sprinkled with some nice anecdotes about a few of the more colorful drivers. Instead, you find yourself skimming a 10,000-word feature about all the politically problematic aspects of Tip Top Tournée.
What's wrong with Tip Top?
Where to even start? For one, there's the crass commercialism of its sponsorships, and then there's the practically criminal emphasis on deadly motor crashes. So, all of it, basically.
Who wrote this stuff?
Oddly enough, this article has 2 bylines: Nasteb Encolada Bernal and Exilus Buka. Just a moment. Those names seem awfully familiar.
Wait, was this written by those 2 morons?
You're right, because they're most likely anagrams of Steban and Ulixis, the student communists.
What's so bad about sponsorships?
Under capitalism, the article says, every pursuit has its price. Every pleasure, even one as elemental as the joy of racing others around a track, is reduced to an advertising opportunity.
That do be true. Ruins many a beautiful livery.
Thus, the so-called tournée becomes a competition between increasingly meaningless brand signifiers. Your discount laundry detergent racing against a pack of Astra cigarettes, or even a Fritta.
Right, but then you get to see them crash.
And that precisely is what's problematic about it. Were it not for the promise of random, spectacular violence, audiences would quickly lose interest. At the end of the day, it's the destruction of these 750,000 real racers that you're really watching for.
No, I'm not looking for the racing. What kind of a monster am I?
Sure, you think that, but subconsciously, it's the visions of brand names being engulfed in flames that you crave.
I mean, I do love brand names being engulfed in flames. That is true.
It's the stilted language and overconfident tone that's the real giveaway here. You're almost certainly reading a recycled university essay, one that could probably use some edits.
Let's make a few changes.
Armed with the lieutenant's trusty blue pen, you spend entirely too much time striking every meaningless word and unsubstantiated claim you come across. By the time you're finished, the original article is nearly illegible.
You know, most people would just write a letter to the editor.
I like it my way.
Or even better, just leave it be.
You wouldn't believe how badly written some of these articles are. No, this article says that no one really watched Tip Top Tournée for the races.
Oh, come on. Can this article read your mind?
It seems to think so.
A certain kind of young man reads 1 or 2 books and suddenly thinks he understands the secret structures of reality. If I had to wager, I'd say they've never even seen the inside of a motor. much less a motor race. I take whatever they write with a large grain of salt.
You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you.
Okay, what's concerning locally?
Unsurprisingly, much of this section is taken up with articles declaring unqualified support for the dockworkers' strike.
Qualified. Oh, that's a nice one. Unqualified support. That is funny.
You skim the headlines. Paint the harbor red and white. Martinez tames the wild pines. A city in revolt. First we take Martinez, then we take La Delta. Finally, there's a brief article by the writer, G. Martin, accusing the owner of the Capeside Apartments of illegally attempting to evict certain communist tenants simply for not having paid their rent.
How fucking dare he? uh, Charging rent just to live somewhere is pretty outrageous.
The writer G. Martin remarks dryly that capitalists love wealth redistribution, so long as it's only redistributed upward.
That do be true.
Good thing your rent-paying days are behind you.
Are they? Because I'm living in a shack.
You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you.
I'm living in a random old lady's shack, for that matter. Let's put the magazine away. And let's explore the docks some more. What's this? Does not open. Must use Privar. There you are. Ooh. Fancy gloves. +1 half-light. Nah. I'll keep my fancy armor gloves. Fancy. What the fuck? English, please. There's some money. Always nice to find money. We're no longer poor. Well, we're still fucking poor, but you get the drift. We're no longer broke.
A rusting control panel.
Nope. Okay, we need to go up. Not much more to see here, apparently. Sad. Wanted to explore more. What's this?
The file cabinet stands
We've
ajar.
already seen that. Okay, let us unlock the door. Haha, you raised this brick. I fooled you.
Your raised descent has...
Nah, fuck you. I don't want to hear you any more than I have to. What should we do now? Probably talk to Blasio. Let's do some actual progress. Then we can go talk to the communists when it's night. Let's get outside and talk to Blasio.
It's always good to see you.
Something
Is
in
it?
her demeanor has changed. She's tired, consigned to her fate, to being here with you and what's to come.
Can I put points into volition? No, I cannot. Fine. Hardy Boys told us what really
I
happened.
understand.
Just like that. No resistance. Her shoulders are slouched, her feet long and straight.
Don't look surprised. We were expecting this.
I knew there was a chance you'd get them to tell you. It's what you do. You're the police. For what it's worth, I'm sorry for wasting your time.
This is good. Clear the air first, between you two, then move on to questions. Is it? Something is off here. Shush, I can't hear what she's saying.
If you knew we would find out eventually, why did you waste our time?
Because of the Hardys. I couldn't just dispense with them. They were only trying to help me. Out of the shit I'd gotten into.
Is she implying the Hardy Boys are the law?
That's not a good enough reason.
You're right. There's more.
More?
You answer to the coalition government, and by extension, the moral intern.
Briefly glancing over her shoulder to the sea, as she's done time and time again. A grand expanse of water reaches over the bay and to the horizon, golden grey in the noonlight.
Lies beyond.
The Pearl, the Muindi Isola, the Occident, and then Oranje, the old world. The conference centers, the people who are angry at her past.
And the Humpty Dumpty Dump Center. Is that why you're looking over your shoulder? Yeah, you're afraid of the moral intern?
You share a database with them. You send people to their courts.
So what the people who mentioned, the ones who are angry about you? Is this part of why Oranje is a bad memory for you?
I have people after me. And they have friends in the moral intern. Some are moral intern. If I show up in your records, officer, they will find me. They will.
What happens if they do?
They will kill me, sir. If you file my name, take me in for questioning, enter me into the moral intern mill, well, then I'm fucked. For nothing. This murder didn't have anything to do with me.
Let's put a point in volition, why don't we? We can't put a point in volition. Why not? Yes, we can.
Fucked. People after her? Moral intern people? This isn't Oranese lit. Actually, this murder did have a little to do with her.
What you do to have these people after you?
It's not nice, but it's not illegal. Not here in Ravishol. Or even in Oranje.
Huh. Were you some bigwig's mistress?
What exactly did you do?
Industrial espionage.
Oh,
I
okay.
joined a business collective with the intention of betraying them. I did my job well enough to be asked to do it again.
Wait, that's not illegal?
With a bigger company. The kind you really, really don't fuck with. I took their ledgers. 2 decades worth of accounting.
I'm pretty sure IP theft is a crime. Even, at the very least, this is contract. Not a crime, but breach of contract, so technically illegal.
I need the names of the companies involved and who hired you.
Civil, not criminal, but still.
The job was Lewsdown County Savings Bank. They sound small, but they're part of the Lewscop conglomerate. That was the second job. The first was some printer company. You wouldn't know them.
But she really destroyed them. She still feels it.
As to who hired me for the job, I don't know. But they're after me too. Along with Lewscop and their friends in the MI. Once you're done in the competitive intelligence circuit, you don't have allies. You're radioactive.
Lowe's cap. These people engineer financial disasters in second world countries. The conglomerate also includes the Bank of Consecration, Airberg, and the popular Papalolo line of dairy products.
I'm sure there are people who haven't done much worse than that. Serves them right. When I'm king, the savings bank will first against the wall. To destroy what people have built. I'm sure there's people who have done much worse than that.
Sure. I'm not a war criminal, but it was bad. People lost their jobs. Good people, too, not just C-suite. A lot of people got hurt. But that's just more of my shit you shouldn't have to deal with. You're solving a murder.
That can wait. Look into her eyes. There's more.
What did you do?
One of them killed themselves because of me.
Yeah, I can see how that would weigh on you.
She says it quickly, like she said it 100 times. To herself, to get used to the idea. Out of guilt.
That's not easy to deal with.
How do you deal with anything? It's all just... How do you do it?
I don't.
There you have it. The way of the warrior.
You said you studied art in New Zealand. What's this futures
I
stuff?
did. I also had a side job selling insurance that I was really good at. Got picked up by a bank. Competitive intelligence, they called it. After that, I sort of, transitioned out of the whole culture scene.
Okay, what happened here the night of the murder?
We were there. Together. In bed, I mean.
Tell me exactly what happened.
Okay. He was in a kneeling position. He had just entered me. I
Get
was
it?
on my back, looking at him. I heard the window behind me shatter, and I turned to look. There was a hole in the glass.
Okay, that might be a little bit too much information. Just a little bit more information than I asked for.
I turned back to him. His eyes were looking through me, and his mouth was open. Dumb. I could see. I could.
Then again, I did ask her to tell me exactly what happened, so...
Her chest
My
rises
fault.
and falls with each word. She keeps herself together and says it.
I knew he was dead. Before he fell down on top of me.
Then what happened? Yeah, we kind of need her to continue, though. Then what happened?
He was heavy. I pushed him off and he fell to the floor. There. He only had his boots on. I bit the pillow, not to scream, then ran downstairs. I waited for the second shot to come. For me. I thought there would be one. It never came.
That's a motherfucker. I'm sorry this happened to you.
So am I.
She throws it away and immediately proceeds to light another one.
I think we can assume that if she was the target, she'd be dead. She's been standing out here pretty much all day.
What time was this? When did it happen? It would help us if you could be as precise as possible.
11:30 to 12:15. I don't know the exact time. Around midnight.
It's okay. Were you inebriated?
Not as much as usual. He'd done a line, plus other things. I was drinking.
Wait. Titus said she was gurning her jaw off, much more than usual.
Titus said you looked pretty high.
Oh, yeah. I did one of his lines, just to clear my head.
Did you hear or see the shooter in the course of this?
No,
And what did you do then?
nothing. I was trapped. I was stuck in my room downstairs. I got some clothes on and crawled back up, drew the blinds. Blood was coming from his mouth. Not a lot, just a little. He was still on the floor, slouched. I couldn't be there with him anymore, so I ran down and out of my room, into the hallway, down the stairs. I knew there would be people there.
Run, woman. Run past them and out into the streets where it's dark and people move. To the lorries at the intersection, as far as you can.
And she ran away from here. As a matter of fact, why are you here now?
I already ran. I ran from an entire Isola. I can't run any further. Not with these people. This is as far as it gets.
What happened after you ran downstairs?
Sylvie was tending the bar. A lot of people were there. The Hardys were at the table in front of the stage. I think the Union box was full. Ruby was there too. They were having such a good time. I sat down and they all welcomed me. I didn't even have to say anything. Ruby knew something was wrong.
Ruby?
Exactly. I didn't think that name has come up before. Who is Ruby?
Ruby. You know, the leader.
The leader? Of what?
The Hardy Boys.
But Hardy was a leader in the Hardy Boys.
Well, nominally, yes. Ruby's the one they go to when things happen, like things they need taken care of. She's the organizer.
Yeah, she's the one smuggling the drugs.
This Ruby, in her phrasing, is entrusted with great power. She trusts her. So do the others.
Would you say she is the 8th Hardy Boy?
Why not?
Okay, let's go on. What then?
Well, Ruby said let's talk upstairs. I showed her the room. I've known these people since December. They know my situation, that I can't leave a paper trail. Ruby was the first one I told. She said she'd take care of this. It's what she does, you know, take care of things. I helped her get the body to the bathroom. We used a belt to pull him up under the shower, to keep him upright.
To produce lividity, matching a hanging?
Yes.
We completely missed the tampering. Looks like you got there in time. What was this, 20 minutes after death?
About 20, yes. Ruby explained it would make the blood... You know what he does.
This Ruby does know a lot about covering up causes of death. Then what did you do?
Ruby went outside to talk to Titus and the boys. I was just looking at Lely in the bathroom. I had to put his clothes back on. His armor, too. It was tough, but I've seen him take it off and put it on many times. It took Ruby maybe half an hour to come back with Titus. I'd gotten him ready by then. They carried him out. I knew what they were going to do. Make it look like a hanging. Ruby said they would.
And what did you do when they were hanging him?
Ruby said to wait here. She also said I wouldn't see her for a while. That we should lay low or something. So I did.
And where is Ruby now?
I don't know. I haven't seen her since.
We will need to take this question to the Hardy Boys.
Indeed we will.
Interesting. Why did this Ruby go through so much trouble to hide something someone else did? Look into this later.
Thank you, Logic. I've got that did you hear the gunshot?
When he was shot? I may have. I don't know. I couldn't hear anything over the glass exploding.
I mean, I think we can skip this one. Could the people after you have killed him?
That's the first thing that went through my head when I heard the glass break.
And?
I thought they'd found me. They've killed him to punish me. All last week, I've tried not to talk to anyone or be seen with anyone so they wouldn't be hurt. I've come to understand, however, this is paranoia. What happened didn't have anything to do with me.
Yeah, either way, it's something to consider.
We can't go after Loose Cap. Not yet. There are other, saner leads.
I don't ask you to, Lieutenant. But there's one thing I know, is that you'll get nothing from there.
If they want to kill me, they'll kill me. If they want to toy with me, they will. She's come to this conclusion weeks ago.
Why'd you call the cops if you're hiding?
Because I'm an idiot.
Yeah. Aren't we all?
Which is an indicator of truth. Idiot. She's nothing of the sort.
So you'd have us believe, but you're not. I don't think so. Why'd you do it?
You have to understand, the people around here, no one was making the call, and he kept rotting. And then they picked his clothes off, and that little fucker threw stones at him.
Yeah, that can't have been easy to watch.
Her jaw is clenched. Her throat moves. It takes all her strength not to cave in and sob. Once. Just one time.
He kept throwing stones at him for 3 days. I could hear the thud. Thud. So I called you. I hope with all my heart it's not the last thing I do in Ravishol.
She definitely called the cops. That was task complete. It could not have been a lie. That is impossible.
When was the window changed?
Last week, Angus and Titus's brother, I think he's called Tibbs, took care of it.
You should have another look at that window after this. Reconstruct the scene. It's right there.
You're better inside?
Yes, you see the glass sparkling out of the corner of your eye.
I think we're done here, for now.
She nods, silently. She doesn't even smoke. Just picks up the cold coffee and holds it in her hands. He's thinking, are we done here? Or maybe you should take her to the station for safekeeping. She lied to you, and she's a flight risk.
Nah, she's got nowhere to go.
No, that won't be necessary. Just leave her alone. She's been through enough. She doesn't need this police brutality. Multiface, I'm beginning to doubt your judgment. Are you sure you're not sleeping on the post? You have to wake this one up with force if you want to continue pushing her.
Okay, let's try looking in her eye.
Just like the last time. Light brown eyes. Look back, don't worry. We will see through this. Miss Oranje Disco Dance. The
Avert your
strange
eyes.
moment ends. It was brief, no longer than 2.2 seconds.
Okay, we don't have enough drama to go through this one. But as we solidify these new revelations, that is going to be it for this episode. Thank you all very much for watching. As always, I have been Pope. Please do remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Do all the things to make the algorithm happy. I will see you all next time.